and a witness saw you strike the 67-year-old man with the right fist, and he fell to the ground. Why would you do such a thing?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
State of Texas versus Eric Joseph Daigle. You are Mr. Daigle.
Yes, sir.
Paragraph 1 alleges that on or about July 9th, 2024 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed a third-degree felony of injury to an elderly individual. Do you understand what you were charged with here, sir? If convicted, come on, you can do it. Come on, computer. You face a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
An agreement's been reached in your case where you would be pleading guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison. That would be suspended. You would be placed on regular probation for 10 years, fined $1,000. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Let me ask you real quickly, who is Clifford Thomas, the victim? What is his relationship to you?
Stranger.
Okay.
They're neighbors. They live on the same street.
Okay. It's not a relative.
No.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
You can't have any contact with this person.
Yes, I understood it.
And I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this offense. You are hereby sentenced in accordance with this agreement to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. That will be suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 10 years. You must pay a fine of $1,000. There will be other terms and conditions of probation which are normal and customary for this type of offense. This was, how old are you, sir?
42.
Okay. Apparently, you injured and struck a 67-year-old man. It said the police saw him with a bloody nose and blood on the inside of his mouth. And then you had a cut on your lower right knuckle, and a witness saw you strike the 67-year-old man with the right fist, and he fell to the ground. Why would you do such a thing? An elderly person?
Actually, he had a weapon. He had a weapon in his hand, an object, and he stayed in an abandoned house next door to my house that's actually condemned. And it's like ongoing traffic of drugs and all kind of sort of things. And I actually approached him verbally and asked him, like on other occasions, when me and my kids are out in the front and they playing, could he not be like on those strange stuff watching my kids? And he got irate and did the belligerent with the weapon, and I just felt a little threatened, and I just struck him one time. Yeah.
Okay. You see anything wrong with that?
Yes, sir. Most definitely, still.
Have you ever been assaulted or violent before?
Have I been assaulted?
No, have you ever been assaultive or violent before?
Not just physically, just probably when I was younger.
What do you mean?
Like when I was younger, growing up, I probably got into a scuffle before, you know. But just like naturally, just looking for violence, no, sir.
You got 2 convictions for robbery.
Yes, sir. But they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a violent crime. 2 violent crimes. Did you forget about that? You can't even get probation from a jury if you went to trial. They wouldn't. If they find you guilty, you go to prison, period. And this third-degree felony would have been punished up to 20 years because of, if you were found guilty of this assault because of your prior convictions. Well, the point is what I'm saying is your violent assaultive behavior, which is what robberies are. You got 2 convictions. Punching out somebody, an elderly person, is an assaultive violent crime. You hadn't learned your lesson yet. How long has he been in jail? How long have you been in jail? A while?
Going on 2 months.
39 days.
You're going to do 180 days as a condition of probation. You know better than assaulting an elderly person after you got 2 robbery convictions. You punch him like that, punch him out. Sorry, as a condition of probation, you're going to serve 180 days. I'm going to give you credit though for time you have served. How much time?
39 days.
It's 121 days. Let's see, 180, 39, 141.
Judge Bobby Hurd.
141 days.
I'm not saying that they were justified back in, but his two robberies were back in 2007, which is sometime since then he has been able to, he's been able to stay out of trouble till this time. And obviously this is trouble. I'm not saying it's not. And he would not have pled guilty if he did not believe he was guilty. But I think that he has learned his lesson. And
How do you take the punch back from the old man? How do you pull that back and unvictimize him? He had a bloody nose, and
I'm not saying it was justified.
well,
Judge.
until you can figure out how to do that, David, he's doing 180 days as a condition of probation because of his violent history. He doesn't have any business because he knows crimes have consequences, and he's getting probation here. What was your sentences on those robberies? Do you remember?
It's 5 years.
Yeah, you did 5 years in prison on each of those to run concurrently, right?
Yes.
So you went to prison for a violent offense. You come back, you commit a violent crime, and you're getting probation. See, some people might say, I thought things were going to, if you do the same type of crime, it should get higher. But that's not what we're doing here. We're giving you probation. But you still should know better. You know it has an accounting. And I feel sorry, not for you, for the elderly man who got punched by you when you have robbery, when you have assaultive convictions. 141 days, you're given credit. 141 days confinement in the county jail is a condition of punching out the elderly man. Is why you have prior convictions for robberies. That's only just. You can't do that. You can't harm people like that, sir. Are you learning lessons here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My soul did.
Well, let's compose yourself better when you have to deal with issues, and don't use violence. That's the third time you've been convicted of a felony of violence.
This next case I selected for my subscribers is because I wanted to show you that when people stereotype certain people just because of the way they look is sometimes
All right.
a good
Good morning,
idea.
sir. Is your true name George Bassel?
Yeah.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a warrant for failing to appear for charges of armed robbery, kidnap, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, aggravated robbery, prohibited person. You do have the right to remain silent. State is recommending that you be held on bond.
Your Honor, the state is recommending $100,000. This person was holding two parties at gunpoint, and the police, let me pull up the interim so I can be most. Judge, which number is he?
He is number 7.
Thank you. Here it is. Based on the warrant, Your Honor, the allegations are as follows. On Halloween of this past year, the Tucson police received a call reporting that he had seen two men, both with guns, one wearing tactical gear, holding two other persons at gunpoint at a residence. Officers set up a perimeter. A person was later taken into custody. After the police set up the aerial surveillance drone, they saw a person wearing a tank top and sweats throwing something down the alley. It turned out to be the wallet of the victim. And this person had let's see, what we have here is the person picked up a shotgun, chambered a round, pointed it at the first victim. And then another person pointed a pistol with an extended magazine at the other victim's head. The victims were told to get on their knees and face the wall, were threatened with being killed, and they were tied up. The parties took money, cell phone, a duffel bag, a backpack, sunglasses, a wallet, clothing, and jewelry. It's north of $16,000 that has been taken. And the victims were then made to give up the address of the other person's house so that they could threaten them with possible retribution should they go to authorities. And the person currently with this defendant was identified by the victim with a photo lineup. This is an incredibly violent crime. This is a crime where not only was deadly force used against the victims, they were robbed. This was a home invasion. This is incredibly dangerous. Plus, this person has been out on warrants for quite some time, $100,000.
It is difficult to believe that someone that looks like this would commit such horrible crimes. I feel as though someone of his stature and intelligence would be able to proffer an intelligent rebuttal to such frivolous allegations as these. So let's hear that intelligence.
Thank you, Counsel.
Fucking police, they're lying bitches.
Well, perhaps I may have been slightly wrong in my assumption, but as my dear departed grandmother would say, you don't judge a book by its cover unless it's bold and starts every sentence with, fuck that.
Your Honor, I would note that, first of all, we don't have the interim complaint, and we can only go off of what the state is sharing with us, given that this is a fugitive warrant out of justice court. I struggle with the identification that Mr. Posen has identified. However, I understand the serious nature of the allegations, and it is important to remember that these are just allegations at this time. I would note, based on pretrial's assessment, that he is a level 1, that he was low on the failure to appear scale, and he has no local priors. His last prior was in 2016. So given that information, and the conversation that I had just now with Mr. Bassel.
Oh, I wonder how that conversation went. Probably something like this. Oh, bald client with $2 tattoos. I'm not sure that the judge can fully appreciate your in-depth knowledge of judicial prudence and your well-executed verbiage. So please let me speak on behalf of you and let you sit there and bask in the glory of looking like the cover of a book that old ladies wouldn't read.
Well, we understand that the court's likely inclined to impose a bond, and we are just asking for a lien warrant.
Thank you, Counsel. So, Mr. Bassel, based on the nature of the charges, I am going to find that you're a threat to the community. I'm going to order that you be held on $100,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services supervision. If you're released, your next court date is January 17th at 1:30 p.m. for preliminary hearing, Pima County Justice Court. If you bond out, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons. You're going to be monitored by pretrial services, no contact with the alleged victims in this case, or their residence and workplace. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand he's a liar.
It is hard to believe that the judge didn't give him a PR bond. I think she might have, if Tattoo's lawyer would have spoken more about how his behavior may be a result of him being down in the dumps ever since he lost his job at NASA.
All right, that's all for today. Thank you.
I wanted to say to all of my wonderful subscribers, thank you all so very much for making the choice in subscribing to my channel. Every single one of you that make up this number. I, like this monkey, would give you a big kissy kissy. But since I can't do that, what I shall do instead is think of you all the next time I take a bath. What I have also done to say thank you is create a playlist for my subscribers that watch my episodes to the end. It's unlisted, so the only way you can access and save the playlist is by me giving it to you right now. So please accept this gift from me to you, as it will give you early access to episodes of mine before I release them publicly. Again, I cannot thank my subscribers enough for getting me off the ground. So, until next time, I'm off to have a bath.